Sweet baby Jesus, how did this happen? I said I wasn't going to buy any books this month. And as you can tell, that went excellently for bookstores and publishers. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no! I legitimately don't even know how this happened. I feel like I started off the month really, really well. I don't even know. I mean, I got my tax return this month, but the majority of these were not tax return buys. Oh god. Alright, I have like, I think 25 books that I hauled this month, so let's just look through them. Hey everyone, my name is Sam, and thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up, and please let me know in the comment section that I'm not alone in this book buying, hoarding, addiction problem, because I don't even know what to do with myself anymore. I can't find a single way to stop myself from buying books. I buy books for other people, I buy them for like libraries, and then I just still want to buy books for myself. I don't even know what to do. It's like I black out. It's just, alright, I have books to talk about. And simply because there are so many of them, I don't think I'll have the ability to, like, summarize them all. So, ones like Obsidio, I don't know where you are if you don't know what this is, but Amy Kaufman, J. Kristoff, a third book in the Illuminate Files series, and I assume we are going to find out exactly what happens with the evil corporation and the jump stations, and I just need Ezra and Katie to be together and okay at the end. And that's Obsidio. Oh, specifically, I love this book too because my friend Amanda went to the book signing they had near her place and she got me a copy and got it signed for me by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I also managed to pick up a copy of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and once again, she made a stop for a book signing near Chicago area where my friend lives. So she bought me this one and got it signed as well. And the undercover is super, super, super gorgeous. And it is Nigerian-inspired folklore where people's magic abilities have been stripped from them and they're being heavily taxed, and we follow the perspective of people that are being oppressed, and then they go on an adventure with the people that are descendants of those doing the oppressing. And you get all these different sides. It's an amazingly written story. I read the arc. It's just so good. You need to read it if you want. If you essentially just want to live on this earth, you should read it. I was also given the arc for The Walking Land by Callie Bates. This book came out in like mid-2017, and the sequel is coming out or has come out officially, but my friend gave this to me, so I'm going to try and get to it eventually. I'm not super worried because it's already been out for like for like a year or so almost, I feel like. At the same time, I was given an arc for The Salt Line by Holly Goddard Jones. This came out in September in 2017. I've been super interested in it. It's kind of a dystopian-y future in the United States, which is kind of what I'm always interested in reading about. And I just really want to read it, but the lines at the library near me have been like massive long, and it's an extremely expensive book. It's an adult book, so it's like well over 35 bucks I think in Canada. So just super expensive and a lot of money to put into a book that I don't know if I'm going to like. So this way I can try it and hopefully I will love it. I also picked up The Castle Behind Thorns by Mary Haskell. This was off of a book outlet, and I honestly don't think I actually read the summary before I bought it. Sounds pretty cool though. There's a boy who wakes up in a castle, doesn't know how he got there. Everything's ripped in half and torn in half, and then he finds the heir to like the kingdom in there, and they, I think, go on an adventure and try to save things. Middle grade, sounds really cool. I'll get to it when I get to it. I picked up the first two books of the Nicholas Flamel series. There is The Alchemist and The Magician. Both of them are by Michael Scott, which I can't help but laugh every single time I hear that name, knowing that it's not the Michael Scott that we all know and love. But I know Nicholas Flamel was a real character, was a real person in history, and people just think that he was a part of like the Harry Potter ghost, but he was a real person in history, so it's always really interesting. I love seeing that kind of stuff like played out, and it was really hyped up to me by the bookstore employee, and said there's a lot of like appearances by other kind of people that you'll probably recognize the name of. So I'm really excited about this one. I'm hoping to get started on this one in May or so. I also got The Junebees by Tracy Baptiste. This is a Caribbean folklore middle grade duology. So this is the first book, I believe, in a duology. And it just came really highly recommended from my friend Melanie, so I'm going to give it a go, hopefully this summer. My beautiful friend Amanda also sent with me, with Obsidio and Children of Blood and Bone, Storm Dancer. This is the first book of the Lotus War series, which is J. Kristoff's own, like, series going on. It's not Nevernight, it's the series that predates Nevernight. She also got it signed for me as well though, so yay! I'm so excited. I'm gonna get to this one hopefully this summer before the last book of the Nevernight series comes out, because I've heard this one's really, really good, but it's done, so I know that it's done, and then it'll fill the hole that I have until Dark Dawn comes out. Oh, I also picked up the sequel to that book, just assuming, it's J. Kristoff, I just assume I'm going to like it. So I picked up Kinslayer, book 2 of the Lotus War series as well from Book Outlet. Also from Book Outlet, I picked up The Accidental Afterlife of Thomas Marsden by Emma Trevine. I know that there's like something to do about grave robbing and it's magical realism, I think, set in or around London. And that's kind of all I want to know. It's really short. I like the cover. It's a middle grade. And I feel like just like the plot of this one, when I heard like grave digging and grave robbing and all that stuff, it's probably going to have some good and interesting morals. And just the concept and the cover and everything really drew me in. I also was so excited. This is like the one book I want to make sure I picked up with my tax return. But I picked up The Serpent's Secret, the Quran Mala and the Kingdom Beyond by Sayanatani Dasgupta. I apologize, I didn't say that first name right. But I am just so excited about this. There's this girl living in New Jersey, and I think she's like in grade 6 or something like that, and all of a sudden her parents go missing, and then a demon like attacks her in her house, and then she finds that she's like a lost Indian princess of like some magical world and has powers and everything. And it sounds super cool. The cover is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love this cover. And I just get very Rick Riordan-y kind of feels from this, like kind of Percy Jackson-y. So I was totally sold on this, and I'm just so excited, and I want to give it a go really, really soon. I'm hoping I can squeeze it into April TBR. Likely probably won't have time. If not, it's definitely going in May. I randomly also picked up Timeless Diego and the Rangers in the Vistlantics by Armand Baltazar while at Shoppers Drug Mart. I don't even know why. It is 600 pages and filled with like these absolutely gorgeous illustrations, and I honestly don't remember much about it. The plot, it just sounded really interesting, and there's like a lot of steampunky looking vibes on here, and I'm just really excited to give this one a go. Don't know when I'll get to it, but I have very high hopes for it. And the cover is really, really pretty, and the spine and everything like that. So I'm excited to give this one a go when I do give it a go. I broke and decided I couldn't wait for it to go up on Book Outlet. So I picked up a copy of Thunderhead by Niall Schusterman. And Niall or Neil, I never say it right. I don't know. But it is the sequel to Scythe Arc. It's the second book in the series, Arc of the Scythe. And it follows these two, like, the world, people no longer die of natural causes. So they have, like, to control the population, they have kind of Grim Reaper-y characters who go around and run statistics, and people, pick people who, fit the statistics, and they have to kill them. And then in the first book we meet apprentices that one of our scythes takes on, and that is where this kind of continues on. Absolutely love the first book. It was slow to start, however, I really, really loved his writing, and it really kind of kept me going, and then I got, like, by the time, I think it was, like, probably halfway-ish point, it really, really, really picked up, and I loved it for the last, like, bit. So I'm super excited to give this one a go. Again, hopefully in May. I had actually pre-ordered a copy of Daughters of the Storm through work. This is the book by Kim Wilkins. It was released a couple years ago, actually, in Australia, but it's been released as like a new thing in North America now, and it follows the story and lives of 5 daughters of a king, and the king has been kind of cursed with a sickness, and he's in a coma, and they're fighting while they think that their stepmother kind of put him there, and then their stepmother's son, they think, is kind of making a play for the throne, and there's a lot of political stuff going on. I read the arc of this, like, finished it the day after this book came out, and I still, for the life of me, can't figure out if I actually liked or hated this book. I definitely want to reread it, and the plot and the geopolitics of it sounds really interesting, so I definitely will continue the series. There were characters in this that I kind of hated, and yeah, but nonetheless, Daughters of the Storm, and the cover is really, really cool. I do love this cover, and yeah. I also picked up Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Lanthan while I was in Edmonton a couple weeks ago. This one has been kind of on my radar for a little while, but I hadn't actually seen it in any stores, so I grabbed it as soon as I saw it in the chapters in Edmonton. And I know that there's 2 timelines, and it talks about the main character in present day, I guess, finds a skeleton on their family property, and it kind of launches them back, I think 100 years or so, to wherever this is in the United States, and I assume has something to do with the murder, and it gets them involved in a lot of the race relationships and riots and that kind of stuff going on in this time period. So I'm really, really interested to give this one a go. I anticipate probably, for some reason, other ones I was like, yeah, May. This one, I don't know why, but I've been like June. June is the month for this book. So probably in June. I also picked up The Tombs by Deborah Schomburg at the same time that I picked up Dreamland Burning. I have seen this cover like non-stop for the last like 2 months before it came out, and I haven't heard anything about it, and every time I ask someone, they're like, no, but let me know what you think of it. So I was like, whatever, the cover is awesome, I'm gonna buy it. It's set in like late 1800s New York City or so. Our main character is like 16 or something like that, and her mother was taken, and her mother has like powers that they couldn't control or something like that, and she doesn't think it's hereditary, but it is or something. I read the plot when I was in the bookstore and was like, that sounds cool. Totally don't remember it now, as you can kind of tell. But super excited for this one. And if you have read it, please comment down below what you thought of it. If it was good, bad, what you thought. I'd love to hear it. So, yeah. Oh my god, why is my hair doing this? I also picked up The Gauntlet by Karuna Riazi. I actually bought this off Book Outlet, forgot, and then recently, like 2 days ago, placed an order on Indigo and bought this at the same time, and then the day after this order showed up. So I will have 2 copies that I'm going to have to return one. But nonetheless, I am just so beyond excited about this. This was actually recommended to me through a webinar through work it's published by a publisher or imprint called Salam Reads, which focuses on, I believe, giving good representation to Muslim characters or Muslim authors. Honestly, can't remember the plot. I just know it's an adventure. Nonetheless, I'm just super excited. Every time I see this cover, I just get like all goosebumpy. So hopefully I can get to this one this summer. I'm just really, really excited about this. And this is when I know that I'm going to want to take my time reading it. Like, no one rush me, no one interrupt me. It's going to have to be like a weekend or a holiday or something like that. But I'm really excited to give this one a go when I give it a go. I finally got my copy of Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. This was actually on my March TBR, and I just didn't get to it. It is an Anastasia space retelling, and that, I heard that, and that's all I need to know. And my friend Meg, who we tend to have relatively similar tastes for books, I think, kind of like this, she really, really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to give this one a go. I don't think I'm going to get to it in April, and it's not on my April TBR, so I'm going to put it back on my TBR for May. Hopefully I'll get to it. I also picked up Cadaver and Queen by Eliza Quitley. I haven't heard really much about this book at all, but the cover looks so cool, and I actually pre-ordered it, so I don't even remember where I heard about it, but it sounds really interesting. The cover looks so cool. I love it when they have women involved in science, especially in like Victorian-y or kind of dystopian-y futures. And our main character is one of the only or the only female medical student in a school, and the school has like drones essentially that help and like service the school, and she finds out that one of the drones is kind of faulty and it has like self-awareness and it's kind of like doing its own thing. And at the same time, she finds out that one of her co-students, Victor, I think it is, Victor Frankenstein, has been killed or something like that. And they have to do with like the drone having like self-awareness and all this stuff. It sounds really, really cool and interesting. I think it's a fantasy standalone as well, which is pretty rare. And it's actually a pretty small book. So I think this is one I could fit in on a weekend day where I could power through it. But I'm super excited to give this one a go. I have a feeling this will be like, it just gives me wintry vibes, but I don't want to wait that long to read it, so I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but hopefully in the next couple months. I also picked up the first book of Karma and Grit, The Wing Snatchers. This is a middle grade book by Sarah Jean Horowitz that my friend Muriel suggested to me, like, non-stop for a week, so I finally was like, fine, okay, I'll buy it. Okay, I'll buy it and I'll read it. Okay, calm down. But our main character grows up in, like, a really poor family. He's an inventor, and they want him to dedicate his time to areas where he will actually make money, and he doesn't seem to be super interested in doing that because at the same time that is happening, there's like an invention contest or something like that he wants to do, and there's fantasies and fairies and like a lot of like fairy tale-y kind of feels kind of wrapped up in the summary. So I'm really excited to give this one a go, and the cover is really, really cool, and I think the sequel actually comes out in the next like month or so. Or they've done the cover release for the sequel very recently and I've seen it now. But whatever it is, it's coming out soonish. I also picked up my own copy of The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. I've actually read this book. I read it through the library, loved it, and I'm ready for the sequel to come out. So I want to have my own copy because I want to reread it. There's a lot of like, I feel like a lot of like little nuggets in this kind of story and Easter eggs that even like on the cover is just like very like, okay, it's a cover. But as you read it, you start like connecting things on this. So I probably am going to reread this before the sequel comes out in, I want to say August or September. I don't know if that's actually right, but I'm just excited for this. But it's like wrapped up of like there's a murder mystery and there's Sherlock Holmes and there's just so much weirdness going on, and every literary character you can think of pops up in this thing. I also picked up An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard off of Book Outlet. Had never heard of it, never seen the cover, never heard of the author. Sounds really cool though. It's like magicians set in New York City, urban fantasy. Don't know when I'm going to get to it, but the cover is really, really cool in person. It's got lots of different tones. It's lifted. And I am really, really excited about just like the concept of magicians in general always gets me like, oh, hello, yes, I'm interested. And New York City always seems to interest everyone. So I'm really excited to give this one a go eventually. And I just have a very good feeling from this book. I don't know why. Then I picked up The Empress by S. Jason Kincaid. This is the sequel to The Diabolic. Haven't read The Diabolic, but I know there's a world where our main character is like a robot and she is like a duplicate of the president's daughter or something like that, and she has to protect her or something like that. So this is a continuation of that. I haven't read The Diabolic. I plan to, hopefully by the end of this year, and, you know, it was cheap on Book Outlet. I wanted it. Whatever. And last but definitely not least is Hello Universe by Erin Estrada Kelly. I keep wanting to say Erin Estrada Kelly. But this actually won the Newbery Award a couple of weeks ago, so I am even more excited to give this a go now. And this was, I believe, in one of the Owl Crate boxes too. So I bought this for my libraries, and now I finally own my copy. I absolutely love this cover. It looks adorable and whimsical. I love the illustrations on this. And knowing that it's won the Newbery Award definitely piqued my interest as well. And I'm just really, really excited to give this one a go. And I know there's a nice little ragtag crew that goes on adventures or learns stuff or something. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Now I have to go find a way to put these on my bookshelves. But anyways, those are all the books that I bought in the month of March. I'm not even going to say I'm not buying any books in April, because like, that seems to make it even worse. I seem to buy more books whenever I say that. Plus, I put a bunch of orders in because it was my birthday in May, and some of them are like coming from like Book Depository, which takes like 2 months to get delivered. So I don't know when it's actually going to show up. So I'm just going to say I will hope to buy less books in April than I bought in March. That'll be my plan. So let me know in the comment section down below if you've read any of these books, or if you bought more books than me so I can feel better about myself. Make sure to check the description box down below. I will link all of these books to their Goodreads page, as well as link all of my social media. If you follow me, I will happily follow you back.